The first of this month, we began observing Ramadan with our Muslim mothers and sisters across the globe. So naturally, this morning, we are underscoring the importance and benefits of fasting in Ramadan. To do that, we are joined by Mufti Fareed Jamal Moeeni as he gives us some insight this morning. Good morning and welcome to the Now.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to you and everyone on set and the viewing public of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning.
Now, we may have been exposed to the observance in schools or across the country because Trinidad is that dynamic.
Yes.
But for those who do not know, the observance of Ramadan signifies what exactly?
As Muslims, Ramadan, it is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. It's a month of fasting, as is common knowledge. But what it really signifies is that human beings, Muslims, we take this opportunity to draw closer to God by devotion. And fasting is that pillar of our religion. We have 5 pillars that we are devoted to our Creator by fasting and refraining from eating and drinking from dawn to dusk and marital relations. So it shows devotion. It's a significance as an individual, as Muslims, we show devotion to our Creator by fasting. Moreover, it's a command from our Creator as it was prescribed for those before us, like, for example, the Jews, the Christians, and the religions before us. They would fast on the 10th of the first month. That's a special time. The 10th of the first month is called Ashura, and that was when Moses freed his people from Pharaoh. It's a holy day for the Jews, and we fasted that day as well. And in the 2nd year of the Islamic calendar, that is when Ramadan fast became obligatory. Okay. Yeah.
So thank you for the bit of history and insight there. But we see that commonality across religions, as you mentioned, where it does show self-discipline and sacrifice, devotion to your religion. But beyond the discipline and the sacrifice, there are other themes like charity and self-purification that we also observe. How can we sustain these values throughout the year, beyond the Ramadan season, that is?
And this is an important question, sustaining these attributes of values or qualities that Ramadan teaches us. It's important because as Muslims or as human beings, we learn these qualities, and some people may adopt these qualities in the month of Ramadan and afterwards they may just drop it. You know, you see, for example, a sister may start wearing her hijab in this month, or a brother may start fasting or starting praying. Maintaining these qualities, a way to do it is being consistent with it. For example, someone may start fasting in this month, observing the requirements as believers and being consistent, little but surely. Now, in Ramadan teaches us about controlling our emotions. And 4 important emotions, we look at it: fear, anger, compassion, and love. Now, fear, we should truly have fear for our Creator in the sense that when we truly fear Him, we bow in prostration. You see, that's why we bow when we go down. We humble ourselves with humility and fear to the Creator. We don't fear Him like, okay, we fear of going into hell or we fear of being taken into retribution, but true fear with humility. So the institution of prayer, the institution of prayer helps us to, really, it acts as a channel for that emotion of fear. And when you look at compassion, that is also a powerful emotion. And compassion teaches us how to feel the need for others, the less fortunate, the homeless, the hungry, the poor. But the institution of zakat, charity, helps us or teaches us how to channel that emotion of compassion and empathy, and we care for the less fortunate. Likewise, when we fast, and then we have anger. Everyone needs to work on their anger, and today we speak about being emotionally intelligent. And being emotionally intelligent is like, not getting worked up when someone says something that pisses you off, or, to aggravate the situation. So having emotional intelligence is important in fasting. So these emotions, and most importantly, love. When Muslims fast, or when anyone fasts, because it's all around throughout the world, different religions, different groups, they fast in their own way. But having food in front of you and you're not going to eat, that shows devotion, That shows really devotion. So the emotion of love And fasting, that institution, helps us how to, work with that love and how to show that love. And these are important aspects
Right.
for us.
That we as humans can all embody. And I
Yes.
particularly appreciate that almost every time you've spoken thus far, you've said Muslims, but human beings as well.
Yeah.
So that even outside of the religion, we tend to participate or share similarities.
What is happening sometimes, as Muslims, we may be different in terms that we are more strict on certain things, or what we eat or what we consume. But we are also human beings. We have feelings and emotions just like other human beings.
Absolutely.
But Ramadan really teaches us to discipline these emotions and control the lower self. And we need to understand we are human beings first of all.
Agreed completely.
Yes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about those of us outside of the religion.
Yes.
How we can respectfully help in your observances, if at all. There are things that, for example, we may not understand or may not know that might be a little bit offensive or will obstruct your ability to exercise those observances. How can non-Muslims support you as you observe Ramadan?
The first thing to understand is when you don't know, ask or inquire. But you just don't go and inquire from any Tom, Dick, or Harry. You
Right.
ask those who know, right? So you get a good, authentic response and understand why, as to why the Muslims fast. A way that the non-Muslims can, help the Muslims or show that solidarity with us is, joining our prayer, coming to the masjid, assisting, asking questions about Allah, the Quran, Islam, But in Trinidad here, in communities, we have what we call the iftar, the breaking of the fast. And that is where we come together as a community. I have non-Muslims friends, the neighbors, they come together in the masjid and we sit down and we eat food together, we break bread together. So that's how we share that love for each other as a community, being part of the community and the activities and joining the imam. And an imam in a masjid is an important role. His role extends not only to his followers in his jamaat or his mosque, but to the society and the village or the city or wherever it may be.
Impacting the community positively, ultimately.
Yes.
Tell me then, if we were to participate in any of those activities, whether it be the breaking of the fast or coming to the mosque, are there certain things that we should be aware of, both as men and women?
One thing is modest wear, as you can observe, and it's common knowledge. You have seen the Muslim, they wear modest clothes. So if you are going to these masjids or places of worship for the Muslims and you want to be there, I would suggest having modest wear. That's all from both men and women, and you're good to go.
Isn't it beautiful to be Trinbagonian, that we could freely partake of other religions?
One thing I will say, I'm Trinidadian, I love Trinidad. I've been living away, I've been traveled, and there's no place like Trinidad, And the tolerance that we have is really amazing. It's really great. We have a beautiful country.
We do.
Yes.
We're going to continue to make it so, because we will be continuing these observations. But are there any activities on calendars that we can add in terms of over the Ramadan season, that is, or beyond?
Yes. For the Ramadan season, we have the Eid al-Fitr. It's going to occur on the 30th of March, will be the 29th day of fasting. So on the 29th day, we need to look out for the moon. So if the moon is seen on the 30th of March, that means the 29th day, that evening, the 30th of March, and the 31st of March would be Eid. However, if the moon is not sighted on the 30th of March, we will fast on the 31st of March, and the 1st of April would be the Eid. So that's another activity to look out for. Available if you guys would like to discuss about that. We have some professional reciters with me this year, so we can have them on set as well, and we can celebrate the Eid, as usual. And looking on, in next 3 months, we'll have the Islamic New Year called Muharram.
Now, tell me a little bit about this one, simply because we are probably more widely familiar with Eid.
Yeah.
But in terms of the new,
Well, the New Year, in St. James, right around the corner, you have the Husay parades and what have you, and that's how they commemorate the New Year. But the New Year, it's the first month of Islamic calendar. It's known as Muharram. It's a holy year. It's a auspicious time whereby all religions, the Jews, the Christians, they observe fast on that significant day, the 10th of Muharram. It's called Ashura. It's a holy day. It's considered the day that God created Adam, created the earth, saved the prophets from disaster, from Noah's ark landed or on the mountain on the 10th of Muharram. Moses was saved. It's the day that Jesus ascended into heaven. So it's a special and holy day, and we commemorate that by fasting.
Now, I really do appreciate all of the insight you shared with us this morning. But if you were to think of one message that you'd like, not just Muslims across the country or the globe, but everyone to embody in this season, what would that be?
What that will be is when we look at fasting, and as Muslims, we practice self-restraint and discipline, and we try for at least 12 or 13 hours here in Trinidad to fast, to adopt certain characteristics of God. For example, self-sufficiency, not in need of eat or drink or sexual desire. And by adopting these characteristics of God or attributes, we have a tendency to be a better human being. And that's how we would understand when he says he created us to be his representative on earth. We represent him. So adopting his characteristics is a way that we can get closer to him, and he will love us in return, and we will get closer to him, and we will have good traits and characteristics and behaviors, and it will extend to the community.
Beautiful stuff. I'm glad that you are putting things in a way that we can all appreciate, and we can certainly use a lot more in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, thank you.
But if we wanted to be a part of the celebrations, observations, or come to mosque, do we have particular dates, locations, or times
Well,
usually there?
it's just, as you know, 5 times prayer a day in the masjid. The imams of the masajids, plural for masjid, they are there, and you can meet them, go to the masjid. We have the morning prayer, Fajr time, Zohar, midday prayer. We have the mid-afternoon prayer, like Asr, then the sunset and Isha. But a good time is to go at sunset, iftar, when the Muslims are breaking the fast. You see them coming out and join with them, have a meal. And you know, I'm sure you must have Muslim friends or others who are viewing, they have Muslim friends. Go at that time and enjoy the festivity of being part of the community when they break fast.
I certainly will, because there's nothing like sharing a meal with some good friends with good energy.
Yes.
And this morning you've brought that beautiful energy to us on the now, so we thank you very much for joining us. And we wish you a holy season ahead.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to be here always.
Absolutely a pleasure.